will be following every single jump, every every
We are live.
every story.
Inside the locker room.
Love music, love life. This is Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1, and you are now welcome inside the locker room. Here in the locker room, we talk about sports, and we do that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And of course, we are always joined by the analyst, like I always say, who is not a cook but knows our onions. And today she's joining me virtually. So please give it up for the one and the only Tega Supreme.
I swear if I was awake, you would have woken me up. Good morning, everybody. Oh, okay, forgive my voice. You all know I'm healing, right? All right. So let's start from there. Forgive my voice, and thank God it's Friday. All
Yeah.
right. So yes, all things that can happen this weekend are about to happen. What has happened in the world of sports so far? Nothing great apart from the fact that Arsenal may get cooked again this weekend. So we'll have we'll have that we'll have that conversation. Um, it's a big match for Manchester City. There's a big match coming up in Italy with Napoli taking on Inter Milan. So those are interesting times. Also, in other news, Daniel Medvedev had another meltdown after losing, well, while he was on his way to losing in Dubai. so, interesting. Very, very, very crazy meltdown. But yeah, interesting stories have happened so far in the world of sports, and we'll be talking about all of them on the locker room this morning. But
And you
Shun, could you tell us how we'll be part of the locker room this morning?
First of all, we're streaming live on YouTube at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can see Tega's face, but you can't see my face. So at Smooth 981 FM Lagos, there you get to drop your comments using the live chat option. And you can also come to WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. Again, 0809 444 0981. That's how you can be a part of the locker room. And please include your name and location if you're sending a message for the first time. So shall we get started? Tega?
Let's rumble.
Yeah, so we're starting with this. Sinners Laurels Award nomination withdrawn after ban, and that is Jannik Sinner's nomination for the World Sportsman of the Year award has been withdrawn after he was given a 3-month doping ban.
Yes, Loris Award has had a few tennis players win, Novak Djokovic, Roger Federer, but and after the year that Yannick Sinner had last year, especially, and then maintaining that world number one, and nobody seems to be able to touch it. Yannick Sinner was on the radar to be nominated. Sorry, yeah, was on the radar to be announced. Um, and then, and then, uh, Lawrence Awards have announced that they are not giving him the award. Now, here is what is tricky about it. Here's what's tricky about it. The Lawrence Awards nominees have not been announced yet. So that's the thing. They didn't need to tell us about Yannick Sinner's name not being on the list. They could have just not put his name on the list. So why did they have to tell us?
Well, they had to announce it first.
Yes. So usually if they had announced the awards and said, you know what, these are the nominees, yada yada yada, and then Yannick Sinner was banned, then it would make sense to say, okay, due to Yannick Sinner's doping ban, we cannot in good faith nominate him as one of the best athletes of the year. Do you understand?
Mm.
That would make sense. But this one, they have not announced the awards, the nominees. So nobody knew who was going to be on the list. So why did you have to come out and not tell us that you're a movie? And do you understand what I'm saying? They
Yeah, I
just
do.
it was unnecessary. If if they must have had him on the list, it's okay. And then you are going to now announce the list. If people now start questioning, oh, why was Yannick Sinner not on the list? Then you can say he had a doping ban, so he was on the initial list but removed him. That's if people ask. But I don't think anybody would have asked because everybody would have automatically known why he was not on the list because of the ban. So why are you telling us that you're removing someone from the list, a list that has not yet been announced?
A little drama is good for the soul, Tega. A little drama is good for the soul.
Look,
So,
first of all, a lot of people are applauding them, but I think ultimately they were just, yeah, exactly, they were just looking for a little PR to help move this thing along because it was unnecessary. Don't put his name. You've not announced it, so you don't need to write a statement. Nobody cares. They were looking for for drama to, publicity stunts to help them. As much as people are applauding them for doing that, I think it was just petty and cheesy PR. But hey, PR is PR. They are in the news, aren't they? Mission
yeah.
accomplished.
And we're talking about them now. Well, moving on, let's talk about the former Chelsea boss, Emma Hayes, losing her first match as the manager of the United States as Japan won the She Believes Cup.
Now that was surprising because ever since Emma Hayes moved to US, we are just wondering if there was going to be any team that could defeat them. First of all, you know that the US women's national football team is definitely one of the best in the world. And with Emma Hayes, and they have a crop of players coming through. Yes, a few players have retired from the She Believes Cup, but football for women in America, and I will not call it soccer. I will not. Stop looking at me. I
You
will not.
stand on business. Yes, I stand with you.
And so, women's football in America is a really huge deal. In fact, they used to say, um, that American football is for men and football is for women. Ridiculous, but hey,
I know.
but they've decided to join the rest of the world in getting educated, and now they're trying to vie for things in football. But it's always been their women dominating, and they have a whole chain of athletes coming through. They have their own US roster that never runs dry with stars. And so yes, some of the players she took this year were new names. However, they fit seamlessly into the team because that's how the US will turns. It's just like the way the basketball and the athletics federation have like a list. So they'll be watching players all across their country and then they'll draft them into a list. If you don't make that list, then you can now go and start thinking of representing your home country. But what's in general, they
Ouch.
have they have a farm that churns out talent every day. So it's not a question of the fact that they were new. It's just that Japan women's football is also a fantastic national team. They've also won World Cups too, the way the US have, and defeating the great US to win those. And so it was always going to be tough. It was always going to be interesting. But ultimately, Emma Hayes gets her first loss in a major competition with the US. I don't think we'll be saying this often, which is why I'm really saying it today. Emma Hayes gets her first loss with the national team. Let's just have it down because after that, you could tell, I mean, you know how it is at the end of the match. She was like, oh, it's just She Believes Cup. You know, she was shaking everybody's hands. But the way she was thumping down, you could tell that people have tried. You will never smell this again. So, but it was interesting to see somebody just knock the US off their perch. And I know all their ex-players were there. So there was, you know, it was like a great cloud of witnesses. If you're a Christian, you'd understand that. They were just there cheering their team up. They came there with, I don't want to call it arrogance, but it was smelling like that, you know, with the confidence and arrogance of champions. We are going to do this again. They knocked the stars of their spangled banner. And so now
It didn't come home.
I can't wait to see how they are going to pull off this revenge because it will be massive. All right, but yes, congratulations to Japan on winning the She Believes Cup.
All right, now moving on. Even though Fenerbahce said that the comment of Jose Mourinho was completely taken out of context, he has been handed a ban, a 4-match ban, and fined a total of 35,194. Is it euros or pound for comments made after the Monday's game with local rivals Galatasaray?
Yes. So the Turkish Federation was very smart. They really wanted to give him that racist ban, but you know, they couldn't really give him the ban because ultimately the backlash was just so much. Everybody was like, "Come on, we all know it was contextual." The Turkish Federation would have been able to use that racist ban if there was not so much backlash. So they were smart. So they decided to sanction him for 2 different offenses, which carries 2 different suspensions, and he cannot serve them concurrently, which is ridiculous because they do that sometimes, but they really wanted to ban him. And one of the reasons they wanted to ban him is written in one of the sanctions that they gave him. They're banning him for calling Turkish football chaotic, and according to them, for disrespecting the Turkish fans and the Turkish football community. If you read it, you're just like, why are you so petty and hurt? Because he had made those so apart from that, he's also talked about the Turkish football referees long before this match that they give questionable decisions, which is also one of the reasons that why they're picking this a referee for this match. They had to go outside the Turkish Federation to get a referee. So he now came out. So they have been waiting for him. So when Galatasaray made that lodge a racist complaint, they were hoping that they could use it to tie the rope around his neck and hang him from the gallows. But the backlash was too much. So they found a way. They legalized this. So this 4-match ban is not because he made a racist comment. Let me just clarify that. This 4-match ban is 2 separate sanctions with 2 separate 2-match suspensions that he's going to serve one after the other instead of concurrently like every normal other human being.
They never forget.
Yeah, so one of it is for insulting the Turkish Federation, the Turkish footballing fans and footballing community, according to them, and Turkish referees in general. The second is for making derogatory comments towards his rival and unsportsmanlike behavior that gets him the 2-match ban. And I'm just like, they found a way. They had to really bend over to find that way, but they found it. So yes, Jose Mourinho is going to give them some money, and he's been suspended, not just from the sidelines, but even from the locker room. Which is, so you know that they really meant business. They were waiting for him. Now they found it, and they're going to use it to the full. So suspended from the dugout and from the locker room. Annoying.
Well, it's a good thing you listening are not suspended from sending your messages and being a part of his locker room. So you're welcome to join us on WhatsApp 0809-444-0981. And we're live on YouTube as well at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. We'll be right back.
Okay,
So
Seun, any messages?
yes, we do have the messages on
Just take
WhatsApp as well
one
as on
YouTube.
YouTube.
Okay, just take one of each, and then men need like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so take two of each. Two YouTube, two WhatsApp, and then we'll take them as we
Okay.
when we come back, we'll take two messages from WhatsApp, two from YouTube. All right. Then we'll go into the next stories.
All right. How are you feeling? Do you feel better?
Not remotely.
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Let's see how it goes. Thank you.
The face bless them with the pretty mind. Shoot, I may look like her, but we're not the same. Mind you, all the things I'm saying are spinning your mind. Mine too. Call it mental gymnastics or better, call it mind food. You can find your mind when you let the music find you right here on Smooth 98.1. This is Miss Eva Johnson, and don't you touch that.
Own your own house? The federal government, through the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, is making it easy for every Nigerian to own a house. The Ministry of Finance Incorporated Real Estate Investment Fund, FREIF, is a 1 trillion naira government-backed initiative designed to provide affordable, long-term mortgage financing for home buyers across Nigeria, with low interest mortgages and repayment periods of up to 20 years. Act now. Visit freif.arm.com.ng to learn more or email us at freif@arm.com.ng. The door to home ownership is open. Don't miss this opportunity.
This is Smooth Breakfast on your job. Just the way you like it.
That's
Back. Welcome back inside the locker room, right here on Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. 33 minutes past 8 o'clock. You can join us live on YouTube at Smooth 981 FM Lagos, and you can also send your messages to WhatsApp 0809-444-0981. That's the number to send your messages to. And now we'll take a few messages before we get back to the story. So I do have AY saying Arteta was claiming that over his dead body with will Arsenal give up and not fight for the Premier League title, only for his team to now go ahead and play a goalless draw against Nottingham Forest. I wonder what brand of copium they're drinking over there at the Emirates, because whatever it is, there is surely a very high level of Delulu contained inside. And Nathan Njoku from Kirikiri Town says, Tega, 1 week ago, it was supposed to be a 4 points gap. Now, 13 points. And they, Arsenal, will still drop more points. Congratulations to my darling Liverpool. And I want to thank Anslot specially for a wonderful job. Well done, boss. Well, now we go to YouTube to take some messages as well. Uchenna Nwokoye says, United, never a dull moment, but I love the grit to fight back. Drama everywhere. Arsenal, just perennial butlers. And Ibrahim Hassan, in response to Uchenna Nwokoye, says, if Arsenal are perennial butlers, what does that say about other teams then? Are you saying that other teams just come to make up the numbers? This Arsenal hate is real. Well, moving on now, let's talk about that thing that Uchenna mentioned, the greets of Amorim or rather Manchester United. The boss, the manager, Ruben Amorim, was impressed by how his side were willing to suffer in order to secure a crucial 3-2 Premier League victory over Ipswich Town on Wednesday. Tega?
I like the way that the Arsenal and Manchester United fans are already fighting in the comments, because it's a big showdown this weekend. Now, yes, great fight back by Manchester United, although it's Ipswich, for goodness sakes. It's Ipswich. They're at the bottom of the table for a reason. On paper, like I said, on paper, it was supposed to be an easy match for Amorim. It just got harder because of the season that Manchester United is having. Amorim not understanding what else he can do. Off the pitch, they are telling them to wash their jerseys and not be giving their jerseys out. They are telling them that apart from the first team players, it's only bread we have. Oh. We are not giving tea. So don't come and be trying to eat better lunch in the restaurant. They have all of that drama going on off the pitch. And then on the pitch, they can't seem to find each other. And so it's really tough times at Manchester United. They're playing on old glory with new championship ambitions, because you can't tell me anything. Even championship clubs don't have this kind of bad behavior that Ratcliffe is trying to introduce at Manchester United. But ultimately, they were able to get the results that was required after picking up a red card, because the Maguire scored that winning goal after Manchester United went one man down against Ipswich Town. I was fantastically disappointed in Ipswich in the second half, because I thought that they must score a goal, especially with Andrew Nana having some brain farts. But Manchester United was able to hold on and come out with all 3 points in that match and move a little higher up the table. The good news for them is that they get their, what should I call it? Their perennial, it's not rivalry now because they've won this too much. They get their perennial friends from North London, Arsenal, this weekend. And that is where the story is. There is a mental slavery that Arsenal has to Manchester United. That even now, when Manchester United is in a bad state, they find ways, like in the FA Cup, to deal with Arsenal. And so, after dumping Arsenal out of the FA Cup, they meet again in the Premier League, and Arsenal are in desperate need of a result. After having another draw against Nottingham Forest. Well, I don't know who they expect Arsenal to drop points against Nottingham Forest. Without seeing that they're playing without a striker, and Mikel Arteta's X factor is to bring on Raheem Sterling, who cannot dribble past the wall. So it just makes it tough for Arsenal. Playing without a striker, going to Manchester United, the goals have dried up, the creativity is nowhere to be found, and once in a while they're leaking goals from counters. So that makes it beautiful for Manchester United and a bit bittersweet for Arsenal. But Manchester United have also had their struggles. So this can come down to be who wakes up on the right side of their bed on Sunday morning. That's what will determine who wins this Arsenal Manchester United. But yes, I like the fact that the banter has already started in the commentary box with an Arsenal fan fighting a Manchester United fan. People should keep it coming. I also like to ask, based on current form and current activities at both clubs, Arsenal with their Delulu 13 points behind Liverpool, and Mikel Arteta's refusal to do any buying in the transfer market. What do you think the result would be? Who do you think will win? Would it be Manchester? Would it be Arsenal? Would it be a drab draw? The numbers to send your messages to are
0809 444 0981. Again, 0809 444 0981. You can also send your messages to YouTube.
And all I want to know is who will win this Manchester United versus Arsenal game. Is it United? Is it the Delulu Gunners? Or is it just going to be a drab draw? All right, let us know your thoughts. While we wait on those thoughts, let's take the next story.
All right, let's move on to another Manchester, and this time City. Manchester City, according to Pep Guardiola, will be back. It will be a Premier League force again in the future. And this comes after Erling Haaland sealed a 1-0 win at Tottenham on Wednesday.
Yeah, 1-0 that was hanging by a thread until the very last minute, because Tottenham was still in it. Like I said, a few players coming back for Tottenham Hotspur, and it was looking good for them. But with Manchester City, you can see why they have struggled for most of the season. Ample ball possession, chances, but not anything apart from that Erling Haaland goal. Even the second one he put in the back of the net was offside. So Manchester City still have their struggles, and it doesn't get any better because they face Nottingham Forest in the first match of the weekend. It just makes it tougher. Now, the good news for Manchester City is that sometimes Nottingham Forest will have a bad day, like when we expected them to do great and they went and gathered a bunch of goals. But it can also be the Nottingham Forest that defeated Liverpool, especially with Manchester City being very vulnerable in defense and in transition defense, especially. Then Nottingham Forest is that team that can take advantage or that could take advantage of Manchester City and put some goals in the back of the net. And that is what makes this fixture really tough for Manchester City. Nottingham Forest are third on the table. Manchester City are fifth on the table. So sorry, they're back to second and fourth on the table. So it makes this tie very interesting. Let's see how they survive against the runners of Nottingham Forest, if they can hold that up defensively. But yes, I like the way Pep Guardiola would talk tough. And when he says they'll be back, it's believable. He won 4 Premier League titles in a row. He has oil money. You know how oil money is as deep as oil wells. So almost a bottomless pit. And already they have put 7 of their players on notice. They're like, find somewhere else to go because we are definitely trading you. And they're going to make serious buys this summer transfer market to shore up and to fight back again, because this has been a horrible season by any standard for Manchester City. So yes, he's saying we'll be back. They probably will be back. It's been a tough season. He's going to come next season and start afresh. Everybody really should be afraid.
Okay, let's move over to Serie A now, where flagging Napoli are hosting Inter Milan as the title battle hot up.
Really wicked weekend for Napoli, because Napoli seems to have been going down while Inter Milan is holding. I won't say Inter Milan is doing great, but they are holding fort. I think that's the best way to say it, because even they meet tough matches, but they somehow ground out the results. And so this is number 1 against number 2 with just 1 point in between both teams. So this match can change the fortunes of one club. One will go to the top, one will go to the bottom. It is impactful, it is consequential. And so this battle will take it all the way to Scudetto. Both teams have been looking forward to this thing. In fact, they've been making substitutions in other matches and planning this match from other matches based on what they've been doing. So they've been anticipating this showdown. Now, I don't think that this will be the title decider, because if Inter Milan wins, it's just 4 points between Inter Milan and Napoli, and it's still feasible to lose the Scudetto title from there. If Napoli wins, it becomes even closer. 2 points between. Sorry. Yeah, 2 points between Napoli and Inter Milan, so still very close. However, this can be a morale boosting match and a psychological advantage for either one of the teams that win, apart from the positional advantage. And so both teams will be approaching it squaring up against the rival. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be interesting. I know Napoli has to try and force something. I'm hoping Conte doesn't try to do that thing where he plays for a draw. I'm hoping that the gap will not extend at the top, and then he can catch up in other matches. But I think Inter Milan will go all out to try and win this one, and that's what I hope will make it interesting. So yeah, that Scudetto battle is really fierce and it carries on directly this weekend.
Okay, and on a final note, the Spanish FA are saying that Real Betis will have Brazilian winger Anthony available for this weekend's match, the La Liga match against Real Madrid.
Real Madrid. He got the red card and everybody thought he was going to miss it, but the Spanish FA, after the appeal by Real Betis, have overturned this call, unlike Jude Bellingham's own that wasn't overturned. They've overturned this call, and so Anthony is available to face Real Madrid. Now, this is another big showdown in the sense that Real Madrid and Barcelona are tied at the top of the table, and then Atletico Madrid is just 2 points behind. So it makes the La Liga really wide open. Barcelona faced Real Sociedad after a tough midweek match against Atletico Madrid. They faced Real Sociedad on Sunday. Real Madrid faced Real Betis, and after winning against Real Sociedad 1-0 in the Copa del Rey without Mbappe midweek. So it is very interesting to see how both things will come out. Now, the question, everybody's putting pressure on everybody. If you're playing first, you have the pressure of setting the tone for the weekend. If you're playing second, you have the pressure of catching up to whoever played first. So it's a really tough one. The La Liga is close, the Italian Serie A is close, and the English Premier League is over. What a shame. All right, let's take your messages. Let's take your messages if we can.
Yep. Let's run through them, and let's start with YouTube. In response to the Yannick story, Ibukun Konu on YouTube says they announced to probably protect the sponsorship and integrity of the award, plus the PR. Tega the Vex this morning. And he further says, Tega, it's Friday, or knock the stars off the Star Spangled Banner. Now, wow, I hope you're not applying for US visa soon. And in response to Ibrahim Sanuchena Owokoye says, I'm not hating, just a bit disappointed that Liverpool seems to be running away with the league. You guys are not bad. And he further says, Tega United is crappy. And then he said that game is 50-50. Anything can happen. Now, on WhatsApp, Emeka says it's senseless saying Arsenal bottled the title when at no point did they top the table this season. I think I'd rather be second than 15th with -3 goal difference. Zicolo says, good morning, guys. Congratulations to Arteta, who wants to win the EPL without scoring goals. His latest prolific striker, Mourinho, is not able to find the net again. Who will save Arteta? Because he will likely not finish second safe. For the match over the weekend, I would say Arsenal will win, but who will score the goal? At least you have to score to win in a game of football. I mean... Oluwaseun says Turkish football is chaotic and violent. It's reminiscent of English football of the 1970s and the 80s. Nigerian football's violence is a joke compared to theirs. Is it the same league Osayi Samuel had to beat up a fan of an opposing team like a thief? I will not call it thief now. Who invaded the pitch to attack him and his teammates? The fans of his team even did a large mural painting of one of the pictures from the event. Isn't it also the one of the president of one of the clubs attacked the referee with some fans and broke his eye sockets? Or was that the Greek league? Anyways, Turkey and Greece share borders, so they're equally violent. Wait till now want Arteta to talk before. You want him to come out and say they've considered the league with more than 10 matches to go? Come on. And Flame says, the match between Manchester United versus Arsenal is on the 9th of March. Onolakwa Obabumi says, the match is next weekend. Manchester United play Fulham this Sunday in the FA Cup. Great job by Bologna against AC Milan, who just refused to take their chances. And Michael says, I am Arsenal fan, but at this point I have to say Arteta is clueless. It's a problem of the club. He should go and coach a secondary school in Zamfara. I pity the players under his leadership. I hope they move on to achieve their dreams somewhere elsewhere.
And on that note, no, we can't take any more. We are really, 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 really out of time.
Oh,
really out of time. Really out of time. So thank you for sending your messages. Thank you for streaming on YouTube. Yes, sure, we are really out of time. And thank you for tuning to School 98.1.
Thank you. It's always a great energy in here. Well, good. One day we'll return on Locker Room on Smooth 98.1, but breakfast continues. At 9, we'll talk about accent on Lagos Talks. Do join us. My name is Oluwaseun Olusegun. And you can find Tega Supreme on Twitter at Tega Supreme and at Ladies in Sport International. I was totally lost. Wow. Thank you.